श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुभागं सस्तनोभिः व्यसेम देवहितैर्यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति न बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ अग्ने नय सुपथाराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देववयुनानि विद्वान् युजोऽध्यस्मज्जुहुरानमेनो वो इष्टान्ते नम भुक्तिं विदेम। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ आब्रह्मन् ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मवर्चसी जायताम् आराष्ट्रे राजन्यः शूरशभ्यो अतिव्याधि महारथो जायताम् दोग्ध्रीन् धेनुर्वोढान्नड्वान् आसु सप्तिः पुरन्धिर्योषा जिष्णारतेष्ठः सभेयो युव अस्य यजमानस्य वीरो जायताम् निकामे निकामेन पर्जन्यो न वर्षतो फलवत्यो न भोषधयः पच्यन्तां योगक्षेमो न कल्पेताम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणचक्षुः स्तोत्रमतो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वो ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोतु अनिराकरणम् अस्तु अनिराकरणम् मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेह उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते महि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। नमस्ते गुरुजी।
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम। शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्न उपशान्तये। अगजाननपद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदं तं भक्तानां एकदन्तम् उपास्महे। अनेकदं तं भक्तानां एकदं तं उपास्महे. So we are in this journey of going through and understanding and also getting some message and wisdom from the Arishta Nivrutti mantraha, the title given for all these mantras in general by the editors of the Veda mantraha Ramakrishna Matham. And well, they're all appropriate because Arishtam, Papam, then Agaha. So these are all some of the words or karma which are associated with everybody born in the world, including all Janma. All those who have the Janma, they have this problem attached to them. So a period of time has been given to us. That's what we call Ayuhu. And Ayuhu is an opportunity, is a Mahadevi, Sampad Yuktam. And in the Ayuhu means Arogyam is also included, Sarira Arogyam, Manasika Arogyam. And so that otherwise It is called as Adhyatma, Adhidaivata, and Adibhautika. So these are the three things, tapatrayas. Tapa is problem, suffering, work. So these tapatrayas are there. Tapatrayo parivaranaya. Lakshmi Nrsimham bhaje. So Lakshmi Nrsimha Swami or all these deities, Mahavishnu or Ishvara or all that, they're all meant for reducing the tapatrayas to beings. Whenever beings go to the feet of Paramatma and say that Papoham, Papakarmaham, Papatma, Papasambhava, Trahimam, Kripaya Deva. So, Trahimam, Kripaya Deva. So, we are just trying to invoke the Kripa of Paramatma for the sake of protection and elevation. So, in the book of our life, there are so many pages, and unless you turn pages, you don't know. Some episodes are there in our life which are not palatable, some are there which are exciting, some are. But ultimately, the future is always in our hand. That's exactly what we call optimism. And in order to secure the safety, utility of the future, which we are all endured, and how long it is, we don't know. We have to be very much careful about it, but work, no laziness, no laziness whatsoever. That's why here in this particular section on the 10th passage, page number 219 of the Arishta Nivrutti Mantraha of the edition of the Sarvaveda Mantraha in Kannada version. So you have noted down how the Vedas are the generative principles, or otherwise called as generators for the beings in the world, for the knowledge in the world, and also what is what. So Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, Atharveda, and again these four Vedas have given rise for the four directions: east, south, west, and north. Also these four Vedas have given scope for many more things. Therefore, even the Varnas, Sudra, Sudra Varna, that is all Sudras and all Brahmanas, all Kshatriyas and all Vaisyas, well, all are that are again from the Vedas. For example, the Brahmins are from Samveda, the Kshatriyas are from Yajurveda, and Rig Veda is Vaisyam. So here also you can take even the Sudra community also came into being from the Rig Veda only, because they're all working for the social order, convenience, and all that. A Vaisya, that is, he belongs to the people. Visha is the people, ಜನರು. ಆ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡೋರು ಯಾರು ಅಂದರೆ ವೈಶ್ಯರು. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವ ಮಿಸ್ಲೇನಿಯಸ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಮಾಡೋರು ಯಾರು ಅಂದರೆ ಶೂದ್ರ, ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಮೈಂಡೆಡ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಈ ಶೂದ್ರ ಅನ್ನೋ ಶಬ್ದಕ್ಕೇನು ಡಿಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಮನುಸ್ಮೃತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಜನ್ಮನ ಜಾಯತೆ ಶೂದ್ರ ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರ ದ್ವಿಜ ಉಚ್ಯತೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಬೈ ಬರ್ತ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಶೂದ್ರ. But as we grow up with education, culture, and knowledge and wisdom, medha, manisha, and all that, that will make people to be dvijatvam, that is twice born, something like the birds. Birds are called dvijas, first egg, then they. So dvijatvam is something great, and that is acquired only by virtue of the karma, the work. Therefore, you observe, and then again they talk about the, after talking about Samaveda, Brahmananam Prasuti, from this particular point, 219 page, what more is there and what are the words of wisdom that have been spoken out by people. So that portion we are going to cover in this particular next thing. So I'm just reading and you say, ಎಸ್ ಶಿವಲಿಂಗ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿ ಪೂರ್ವೇ ಪೂರ್ವೇಭ್ಯೋ ವಚ ಏತದೂಚುಹು ಪೂರ್ವೇ
पूर्वे पूर्वेभ्यो वच एतदुचुः पूर्वे पूर्वेभ्यो वच एतदुचुः
आदर्शमग्निं चिन्वानाः
आदर्शमग्निं चिन्वानाः आदर्शमग्निं चिन्वानाः
पूर्वे विश्वसृजो अमृताः
पूर्वे विश्वसृजो अमृताः पूर्वे विश्वसृजो अमृताः
शतं वर्षाणि सहस्राणि
शतं वर्षसहस्राणि शतं वर्षसहस्राणि
दीक्षिताः सत्रमासता
दीक्षिता सत्रमासत दीक्षिताः सत्रमासत
तप आसीत् गृहपतिः
तप आसीद् गृहपतिः तप आसीद् गृहपतिः
ब्रह्मा ब्रह्माभवत् स्वयम्
ब्रह्मा ब्रह्मा अभवत् स्वयं ब्रह्मा अभवत् स्वयं
सत्यगुं होतैषामासीत्
सत्यगुम् अवोतेषामासीत् सत्यगुम् अवोत्येषामासीत्
यद्विश्वसृज आसता
यद्विश्वसृज आसत यद्विश्वसृज आसत
अमृतमेभ्य उदगायतु
अमृतमेभ्य उदगायत् अमृतमेभ्य उदगायत्
You understand? These are all the speech or enunciation that has been done by the earlier people. That's what it is said. See, Purve, in ancient times, no dating, long years back, Purvebhyaha, from the ancient people, etad vacha uchuhu. So all for the people, these are the voices, these are all these instructions given to. And that's why it's called clairvoyance ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಈ ಶಬ್ದಗಳು ಈ ಮಾತುಗಳು ಆಕಾಶವಾಣಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಸಿ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ದಟ್ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವರ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ದಿ ನೇಮ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಟು ದ ರೇಡಿಯೋ. ಆವಾಗ ಯಾರೋ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಇದು ಆಕಾಶವಾಣಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಅಪ್ರಾಪ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ನೇಮ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಸಿ ದಿ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್. ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಆವಾಗ, ಯಾರು ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಈ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ಗಳಡೆ ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ಯಾರು ಹಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೋ ಅವ್ರ ಹಾಡು ವಾಯ್ಸ್, ಆ ವಾಯ್ಸೇ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶುರು ಆಯಿತು. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇವ್ರು ನೋಡಿ ಏತದು ಚುಹೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಡಿಯೋ ಇತ್ತು, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಅನ್ನೋದು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವೈಟ್ ಟಿ ವಿ ಇತ್ತು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಲರ್ ಬಂತು. ಸೊ ಈ ತರಹ ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಯ್ತಂದರೆ ದೀಕ್ಷಿತಾ ಪೂರ್ವೇಭ್ಯ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಸೇಕ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಎನನ್ಸಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಗ್ನಿಂ ಚಿನ್ವಾನಃ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್, ಹೂ ಅಗ್ನಿ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರಥಮೋ ದೈವ್ಯ. ಅಗ್ನಿ ದೇವಾನಾಂ ಮುಖಮಾಸೀತ್. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೆಡ್ ಅಗ್ನಿಮುಖ ವೈ ದೇವಾಃ. All gods are having the Agni as their mouthpiece. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆದರ್ಶಮಗ್ನಿಂ ಚಿನ್ವಾನಃ. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್, ವರ್ಷಿಪ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ puja to Agni Deva. What kind of Agni it is? Adarsha. So Adarsha is ideal one mother. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಿರರ್ ಟು ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಅವರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕ್ಯಾಲೆಂಡರ್. ಸಿ ಆದರ್ಶ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು ಹೂ ಯು ಆರ್, ಹೌ ಯು ಆರ್, ವಾಟ್ ಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ವೇಯಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡಿಸೀವ್ ಬಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ದಿ ಮಿರರ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಆದರ್ಶಂ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ಯ ವಾಂಗ್ಮಯಂ ತೇಷಾಂ ಅಸನ್ನಿಧಾನೇಪಿ ನ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಪಶ್ಯ ನಶ್ಯತಿ ಅಂತ ದಂಡಿನ್. ಸಿ ಶಬ್ದ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಇತ್ತು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇವಾಗ ಸರ್ಸ್ಕೊ ಆದರ್ಶಂ, ಅಗ್ನಿ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಮಿರರ್ ಟು ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಗ್ನಿಯಿಂದಲೇ ನಾವು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಅಗ್ನಿಯಿಂದಲೇ ಬದುಕ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಗ್ನಿಯಲ್ಲೇ ಲೀನ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈ ಅಗ್ನಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾನೆ? ಎಗೈನ್ ವಾಟರ್. ಇದಂಬ ಸಲಿಲಮಾಸೀತ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ಹೈಡ್ರೋ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಪವರ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್, which we are trying to get it out and use for our comfort and domestic happiness. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ವಿದ್ಯುತ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ವಿದ್ಯುತ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ದಿ ಪವರ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೇಕ್. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಲ್ಬು, ಆ ವಿದ್ಯುತ್ಗೆ మన ಕಾಂತಿ ಬರಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಬಲ್ಬನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ which will have the filaments and give you light. Depending on the kind of filament you observe, you have got the power of the light. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ, ಅಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯುವರ್ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪೂಜಾ ಟು ಅಗ್ನಿ. ಅದರ್ಶಂ ಅಗ್ನಿಂ ಚಿನ್ವಾನಃ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ವಿಶ್ವಸೃಕ್ ಅಮೃತಾಃ ಪೂರ್ವೇ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್, they were all immortal. First immortality in the mortality ಬಂದಿದೆ. That's exactly what you see in the Prashnopanishad also. So devaha manushyaha iti, the people who are created by Paramatma, they are in two divisions. One is devaha, elevated beings, wisdom fulfilling, and we have got the Prabhakargaru as their main motto. And second one is the manavaha, manushyaha. So when three lokas are created, gods were given Swargaloka or Devaloka, it's called, to live. And when human beings are born, they are given the Martyaloka to live, to work, to exist and die. So Martyaloka is given to manavaha. All manavas coming into this earth, they cannot expect to live long. Because manavaha, they are liable for ending their life. And ಆ ಎಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಕೂಡ ಅಬ್ರಪ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡತ್ತೆ, ನೋ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಂಡಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಮರಣ ಅನ್ನೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಮರಣ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಟೇನಿಯಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಮರಣ ಬಂದರೆ ಬಂದುಬಿಡತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಸಲ ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಚ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಪೂರ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಪೂರ್ವೇ ವಿಶ್ವಸೃಚು, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟರ್ಸ್. ವಿಶ್ವವನ್ನು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋರು ವಿಶ್ವಸೃಚ್. ಅವರೇನಾಗಿದ್ರು ಅಂದರೆ ಅಮೃತಾಹ, ದೇ ಆಲ್ ವರ್ ಇಮ್ಮಾರ್ಟಲ್ ಪೀಪಲ್. ಸೊ ದೇ ಫಾರ್ ದೆಮ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಅಮೃತ ವಾಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟೆಡ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಮೃತ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ರಿಮೈನ್ ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್. ಹೌ ಲಾಂಗ್ ದೇ ಲಿವ್ಡ್, see, this is a kind of narration for us, the Brahmana portion, and we must know how long they lived. Many years. How many? Satam Sahasrani Varsha. So all of them lived hundreds and thousands of years. So the Kala is a flowing, and Kala is a wheel. Kala Chakra Pranetaram antara. Surya Narayanam Bhaje. So Karya, Kala Chakra is Surya, and Surya is Paramatma. So that's why ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಇದ್ರು ಅಂದರೆ, ದೇ ಆಲ್ ಲಿವ್ಡ್ ಶತಂ ಸಹಸ್ರಾಣಿ ವರ್ಷ. ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು? ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಬಾರ್ನ್, ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಅಮೃತ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಎ ಫುಡ್, ದೇ ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಟೇಬಲ್, ಕ್ಯಾಲೆಂಡರ್ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ, ದೀಕ್ಷಿತಾ ಸತ್ರಮಾಸತ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಆಲ್ ಬಿಕೇಮ್ ದೀಕ್ಷಿತಾಸ್. ದೀಕ್ಷಾ ಅಂದರೆ ವ್ರತ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಯಮಗಳ ಪರಿಪಾಲನೆ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದೀಕ್ಷಿತಾ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರೇನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಡ್ರಾನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ರಿಫೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಸತ್ರ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ 21 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 21 ಡೇಸು, 21 ಇಯರ್ಸ್. ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ತ್ರೇತಾ ಯುಗ, ವೆನ್ ರಾಮಪಟ್ಟಾಭಿಷೇಕ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್, ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮುಗಿತು. ಸೊ ರಾಮನ ತಾಯಿಂದರ 3 ಜನರನ್ನು, ಪರಿವಾರವನ್ನು ಅವರ ಅಳಿಯ, ಅವರ ಭಾವ, ಅವರು ರಾಮನ ಭಾವ ಋಷ್ಯಶೃಂಗ ಮಹಾಮುನಿ ಬಂದು ತನ್ನ ಆಶ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಕಿಂಗ್ ರಾಮ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇಸ್ ರೂಲ್, there was no, then all mothers were not there. When husband Dasaratha is not there, normally they retire to Vanavasa, forest. So Aliya has taken daughter and son-in-law of these 3 mothers, took them to Satram. That's why Dikshitaha Satramasata. Adukoskara, even today, people call it as a Satram, Matham. These are the 2 things. ಮಠದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಜಾಗ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಊಟ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾವರ್ಬ್, ಸತ್ರಂ ಭೋಜನಮು ಮಠಂ ನಿದ್ರಾ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಸತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಊಟ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಮಠದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡೋದು. ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದಿ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲರ್ಸ್ ಬಂಗ್ಲೋ ಟು ಮೆನಿ ಪೀಪಲ್. ಮಠದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪ್ರಯಾಣ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಜನರು. ಬಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ಆ ಶಬ್ದಗಳೇ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಟೆಲ್ಸ್ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ದಿ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿ ಮೋಡ್, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ದೀಸ್ ಡೇಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಆದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ನ ವಿಕ್ರಯ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ, ವೇದ ವಿಕ್ರಯ, ಅನ್ನ ವಿಕ್ರಯ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅನ್ನಂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವೇದಂ, ಬಟ್ ದೆರ್ ಆರ್ ಅದರ್ ವೇಸ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ, ಅಂಡ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಎನಿ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಅನ್ನಂ ಯು ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ವೇದಂ ದಟ್ ಯು ಟಾಟ್. But all those things have become only standard, but they are like that only. People don't know nowadays. So when they are doing the Satra Yaga, it's called Yaga. When they are doing Satra Yaga, then their first was the Tapa Asit Grihapati. The Tapaha, the austerities, Niyamagalu, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಯಾರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಗೃಹಪತಿ, ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಹೂ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ ದ ಹೌಸ್, ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ದ ಹೌಸ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್, ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಹೌಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹೌಸ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಗೃಹಸ್ಥ, ಸ್ಥ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್. ಸೊ ಹಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಇನ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಹೌಸ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಮತ್ತೆ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಟಿಕೆಟ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ಮನೆಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮೂರೇ ವಾಸಿ ಅಂತ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದರೂ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮೂರೇ ವಾಸಿ. ಸೊ ಗೃಹಪತಿ, ಸೊ ಗೃಹಪತಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಫೆಲೋ. ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಎ ಕಿಚನ್, ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಎ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಲ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ದ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಹಿ ಈಸ್ ಸೆಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಗೃಹಪತಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಗೃಹಪತಿ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಸತ್ಯಂ. So all Gruhapatis are committed to be truthful, follow the instructions, and therefore it's a big job. Gruhapati ಅಂದರೆ that's what is called as ಗೃಹ್ಯ ಕೃತ್ಯಗಳು. ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ನೋಡಬೇಕು, ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಿ ರೆಸ್ಟೋರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಡಿಯಿಂದ ದೇವರಿಗೆ ನೈವೇದ್ಯ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಊಟ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Before that, some puja to be done to Paramatma. That is our Hindu dharma, Sanatana dharma. And so God first, we are next. Nam Huduga Anjaneya Prasad was telling, God first, I am next anta. When he was small boy, has forgotten. So hange illi tapaha asit. Satya meant for the Grihapati. Then, I'm sorry. So Asit Brahma Abhavat Swayam Brahma. So there is work for the Gruhapatis, but Brahma is born by himself, for himself, to himself. something like the democracy people talk. So Brahma is for himself, Brahma is to himself, Brahma all in all. ಸೊ ಈಗ ತಪದಿಂದ ಗೃಹಪತಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಆರಿಜಿನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಗೃಹಪತಿ? ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಮನೆ ಇದ್ದವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬೇಜಾರು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಗೃಹಪತಿಗೆ ಗೃಹ ಪತ್ನಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಗೃಹಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿಗೆ ಸರಿಯಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್ ಟು ವರ್ಕ್, ಟು ಫೀಡ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್, to feed the guests, to attend to miscellaneous jobs that will help the society. ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಂಕ್ರಾಂತಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇನ್ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್, ಆವಾಗ ಆ ಹೋಲ್ ಮಂತ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಮನೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನೀರು ಹಾಕಿ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ರಂಗೋಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ in a street, if every house people were to do that kind of cleaning their portico or front yard and decorate it with rangoli, the entire street is beautiful. The entire street is clean. That is the culture in our Hindu system. ನಮ್ಮ ಸನಾತನ ಧರ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರು ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಎದ್ದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಮನೆ ಮುಂದೆ ನೀರು ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ರಂಗೋಲಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಮನೆಗೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬರೋದು ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ದಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಬಿಗಿನ್ಸ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದಟ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ತಪಃ. ತಪಃ ಅಂದರೆ ವರ್ಕ್. ತಪ ಇತಿ ತಪೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ಪೌರುಸಿಷ್ಟಿ. ಈಗ ಏನು ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೂ ಕೂಡ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ತಪಸ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಸತ್ಯದಿಂದ ಗೃಹಪತಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಬಂತು. ಆದರೆ ಈ ಸತ್ಯವನ್ನು ಕಾಪಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ದಿ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಥಾರಿಟಿ ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ದಿ judge and guardian and protector of this tapas is Brahma. And that creator Brahma again became another Brahma. So Brahma anta Obba Brahma is the creator, the son of the Brahma, original Brahma, Ishvara. That's what we say, Ishana Sarva Vidyanam, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam, Brahma Adhipatihi, Brahmanaha Adhipatihi, Sada Shivaha Om. This is what is the result, Vyakhyanam, for this expression as Brahma Swayam Abhavatu. ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಗೆ ತಾಯಿ ತಂದೆ ಎಂಥದ್ದೇನಿಲ್ಲ ಆರಿಜಿನ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇವಾಗ ಪಾರ್ವತಿಗೇನು, ಪಾರ್ವತಿ ಪರಿಣಯ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಗಿರಿಜಾ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಆಗೋವಾಗ ಪಾರ್ವತಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹಿಮವಾನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೇನಾದೇವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಯಾರು ಆ ಹುಡುಗಿಯನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಇರಬೇಕಲ್ವ ಶಿವನಿಗೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಗಿರಿಜಾ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಶಿವ ಪಾಪ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ನನ್ನ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಋಷಿಗಳೇ ನನ್ನ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ಬಾರೋ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ವಸಿಷ್ಠ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅರುಂಧತಿ ಟು ಬಿ ಹರ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಹಿಸ್ ಬಾರೋಡ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ದಿ ಶಿವ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣಂ, ಪಾರ್ವತಿ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣಂ, ಗಿರಿಜಾ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಕಾಲ್, ಟುಕ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಸ್ವಯಂಭೂ ಅನ್ನೋವಾಗ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಬೈ ಹಿಮ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಸೊ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದೇವನಿಗೆ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಸ್ವಯಂಭೂ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಬಾರ್ನ್. And moreover, they are the guardians of the truth. That's why they depend upon the ಗೃಹಪತಿ. ಮನೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿರೋರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಎ ಶ್ರೌತ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ತ ಕರ್ಮಗಳು. ಶ್ರೌತ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ತ ಕರ್ಮಾನುಷ್ಠಾನ ಯೋಗ್ಯತಾ ಸಿದ್ಧತ್ವಂ ಯಜ್ಞೋಪವೀತ ಧಾರಣಂ ಕರಿಷ್ಯೇ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಶ್ರೌತ ಟು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ದ ಗಾಡ್ಸ್, ಸ್ಮಾರ್ತ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ದಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಗೃಹಪತಿ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ತ ಕರ್ಮ ಅನುಷ್ಠಾನ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಅಭವತ್ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸತ್ಯಗುಮ್ನ ಹೋತೃ ಏಷಾಂ ಆಸೀತ್. ಸೊ ಇದು ಹೇಳಿದಲ್ವಾ, ಸತ್ರ ಮಾಸತ ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ, ಸತ್ರ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾಗ. ಆ ಸತ್ರ ಯಾಗವನ್ನು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅ ಬ್ರೇಕ್. ಸೊ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಅರ್ಥ ಗರ್ಭಿತವಾಗಿದೆ. Adrinda, we have got great commentators. Bhatta Bhaskara, Sayanacharya, Skandaswami, and so many great thinkers are there who have spent their lifetime, and thought and knowledge and Vritpatti in order to explain the content, because all these sentences are like the Sutra Prayam. Alpaksharam, Asandigdham, Saravat Viniveshitam, Sutram, Sutra Kruto Viduho, the Saram. The essence is being given here, and when you expand it, it is very wide. So you observe something like I always compare, like the cabbage. To look cabbage is small or big, but when you divide the cabbage or cut it, you see the entire area is occupied by the pieces. Hange, there are so many meanings for that. So, et visvasruja asata, satyagum sa hota esham asit. Ivರೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸತ್ಯವೇ ಆಧಾರವಾಯಿತು. So that's why we always have picked up Narayana. He may be having Bhavanarayana and Lakshmi Narayana or Yenagli. Konege, people have at one time made Narayana to be Satyanarayana. So among all vratas, Satyanarayana vratam, worshipping the Vishnu, has become a most popular and common thing for any celebration, or even to get our any want fulfilled. So Satyanarayanam bhaje. Hange illi ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ, ಸೊ ಏಷಾಂ ಸತ್ಯಂ ಹಾ ಇಂಡೀಡ್ ಹೋತ ಏಷಾಮ. ಹೋತ ಅಂದರೆ ಇನ್ವೋಕರ್. ಹೋತ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಹೂ ವಿಲ್ ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಗಾಡ್ಸ್ ಟು ದಿ ಯಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಷಿಪ್. ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೋತರಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಹೋತ ಆಸೀತ್. And yet Visvasrujaha asata. And because of that kind of hota and the Visvasruja, that is, he is one who created the entire world, entire creation. So he is called Vishwa. That's why in Vishnu Sahasranamam, the first grand name, Kirti to Mahavishnu, is Vishwam, Vishnu, Vashatkaraha. So Vishwam, Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishwam. So Vishwam, Vishnu, Vashatkaraha, where you see Vishwam, Vishnu. So Vishwasruch, Sruk, Srujau, Srujahad. Sruk andre creator. Vishwasruk andre, he became the creator par excellence. Because ನಮ್ಮ ತರಹ మీరు ఫ్రీగా ఉంటే జాయిన్ అవ్వండి. ఇట్స్ అ బ్యూటిఫుల్ ప్యాసేజ్ ఫర్ యూ క్లాస్. So the creation is a very interesting process. And as men have got work, so also the gods. Therefore, karma, action, activity is not at all accepting to anybody in the world. That's why in Gita, Krishna says, Nakopi tisthati akarma krutu anavaga. Our statement, even that is working, that is belonging to or applicable to even for Krishna. Not a single minute Krishna is left free. Though he goes and tries to engage himself in his own activity, he will again come back to meet his nephews. That's exactly the origin of the Anugita. See, Bhagavad Gita is over, where Krishna and Arjuna had a different topic while Bhagavan spoke to. But when they met again, they tried to review. And do you remember what was that? Then Arjuna said, I don't remember, everything volatile, gone. When Krishna said, I don't remember what. So they wanted to have a follow-up of that. What is the follow-up of action? Moksha, moksha dharma, moksha niyamas. And that's why in this Brahmana text, they are talking about the origin of the creation. They say that the Grihapati is because of the tapas. Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika, Adidaivika. That's a tapas. And we have to fulfill these three tapas. The tapa can be reduced or cancelled because of tapas. That's why in Taittiriya Upanishad we have seen tapa iti tapo nitya paurusishtihi swadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramaditavyam. So what is tapas? Is swadhyaya and pravachana. That's what Taittiriya Maharshi thesis. And here, yet we, so when the Brahma became himself, and when he was born, and he became the guardian or ruler of the Satyam. So, his count is only with reference to Satyam in respect of the behavior of the people in the world, because he created the world, giving a opportunity for all the people. Lokam cha punya papanam etat pruchhami samprati. So, this is what is Aruna Prashna. Maharshi tells that you may put a question. There are so many lokas. In all lokas, there is punyam and papam working. But the intensity, the power of the existence and practice of these things will little vary in other lokas. But in in bhuloka, there is the equal opportunity. Either you become a punyavan or papiyan bhavati. So that's why here, but there are gods, Vishwasruk, they are all immortal people. So to maintain the immortality of the gods, what has been done by this Ishvara, what he has done, Amrutam ebhyaha udagayatu. See, the Amrutotpatti, we only have in Purana story that Vishnu came up as Dhanvantari at the end of the churning of the milk ocean with the two Amrita Kalashas, and therefore he is but nobody, Narayana, and that Amrita Kalashas is Oshadha Chakram. So as you see the Dhanvantari mantra, Om Namo Om Namo Mahasudarsanaya, then Vishnumurti Rupaya, Sarva Rogapaharine, Sarva Lokadhipataye, Sri Dhanvantari Murta Dhanvantaraye, Amrita Kalasahastaya, Sri Vishnumurti Swarupaya, Amrita Oshadha Chakras, Narayanaya Swaha. So that is one origin. And so why at all Amrut, there is a need and necessity for creating of the Amrita. There are so many grains. There are so many food grains are being built, are brought up from earth. But all those food grains nowhere. But ultimately what you that Amrutam. Because all food grains are Amrutas only, but they are temporary. They get digested and removed. But what is that constantly remain in the body and make people immortal and continue and help them to do their jobs? That's why Paramatma thought that, well, these Vishwasruks, those who have got that kind of creative functioning and responsibility, they should be constant. That's why even in the Prashnopanishad, second Prashna answer agi, that Vippalad Maharshi says, there are two alternatives for people upon the earth. One is Prajapati Vratam and another is a Brahmacharya. That's all. So when you take to Prajapati, for those two people, there is a moksham, there is a nivrutti, and that's why aputrasya katir nasti, they say that. So they have that kind of responsibility. Nobody can escape or postpone. They have to go through. That's why ebhyaha vishwasrubhyaha Amrita udagayatu. Udagayatu means it sprang up. Like Paramatma, who is himself born, similarly, Amruta also himself born. That's why Amrutabdhi madhye sthitaye lalitambikaye namaha sudha sagara madhyastha anuvaga. So, who is the ruler of the Sudha? And that Sudha or Amrita is not limited. It can be available to all people, provided they go to the shore of the Amrita or Amrita Samudram. Who can go? Because the Sapta Samudraha are there, it is said, but they're all mythical. Nobody can see this. All people can see the only salt Samudram. But beyond the salt Samudram, there is the other samudras are there, Sapta Samudraha. So that's what you see each sentence, Ebhyaha Udagayat. And then the food itself gets grown. You may sow the seed, but the seed should turn into crops and harvesting. Who does it? Paramatma has to do it. So it is all Brahma who is self-born. He takes care of the seeds that you sow to turn into food for all people. We know only to put the seed. We are not responsible until you are ready to reap the harvest. But meanwhile, what happens is again Paramatma. That's why whenever rain, that's why it said that sowing the seed is the farmer, and Paramatma has got to give rain, give sunshine, give rough weather, and see that the seeds grow into good crops and then give good food. That's why the verb here, ut agayata, udagayata, ut is a upasarga. So ga is movement. That is, it is not only once. That constancy is being, I think, referred by the word udagayata, agayata. That is, Amritam does not get exhausted. The Amrita Kalasha is always full. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate applies to Purna Kumbha, rather Amrita Kumbha. So that's why we always have our target in life is Amritaha Bhavema anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠ ಜಾಗ್ರತ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ಯ ವರಾನ್ ನಿಬೋಧತ. Ultimately varan nibodhata. Afterwards, what is the goal? Amrita bhavema. So that's why amrutam ebhyaha udagayat. Arishta Nivrutti mantraha from that Ramakrishna mantra book, Sarva Mantraha. I am just trying to explain what are the ways and means by which we can reduce and get filled with the punyam. So actually we have to empty the bottle of sins, and in place of that we have to fill up the punyam. That's the job. What is your job in the world? According to our Sanatan Dharma and gods and rishis and all of, they don't say, they always remind us of the spirituality. Aya, you may be body-minded, you may be mind-minded. That's why we say, mind your business, I say. We always scold, mind your business. So, no diversion. We have to mind the mind. Ultimately, what would happen is this spiritual upliftment. So, there is always that kind of growth from A to growth. That's what is called Gayata. Gatum Yagnaya, Gatum Yagnapataye. So, when you are going towards the Yagna and singing the glory of the Yagnapati, Paramatma Vishnu, then what would happen? Gatum Yagnaya, Gatum Yagnapataye. Then what would happen is Daivi Swastirastunaha. So to all people, there will be the divine blessing. What is divine blessing? It's Amrita. Amrita Bhavema is the Daivi. So that's why we have Ayebhyaha Amritam Budagayata. And that Amrita which came, which rose up, continued to exist in plenitude, continued to be for years and years and years. The Kumbha, the tank of Amrita will never exist, will never exhaust. That's why people have, our ancient rishis have described the Amrita to be a samudram. Amritambodhihi anತಾರೆ. See, Amrita ಅನ್ನೋದು samudra. No, anybody can drink any amount of Amritam. That's exactly what we call, I know I understand, thanks, the Panchadasakshari Mahamantra of Sri Vidya, where you think that Amma is Amrita, Amma is Amritodbhava, and Amma is the controller, Adishakti Swarupini as the maintainer or governor of the Amrita. And such Devi, when you are devoting to her feet and enjoying her looks with our devotion, she will simply keep on Varshaya, Varshaya, Amritam, Varshaya, Varshaya. So that Varsha will come. Even Mathuswama Dikshitar also. So when rain is Amritam, because Annad Bhavanti Bhutani. So without rain, without water, no bhutas and no food, people die. Because in Kali Yuga more so is Annagataha Pranaha. Annam does not mean only food, so many other things that is associated for the living of a man in the world or living of the jivas in the world, whether it is animal, whether all men are also animals. So food is important. So that's why here next sentence tells you Sahasram Parivatsaran. So Parivatsaran Sahasram. The Vatsara andre year, unit. But Parivatsara is the cycle of units. Keep on repeating. See, we are now in this 2025, right from the time of birth that we have. Before that, don't know. After departure from our body, what are you? Don't know. So between two don't knows, we are all sandwiched. But we think that's a Maya, that we are all permanent on the ground, on this earth. So we make lot of arrangements and all those things. But ultimately, when the arrangements or acquisitions, etc., period is over, then a kind of thing, sentiment comes to us that you have to ultimately leave. One may build a beautiful house, but nobody can remain in the bedroom of the house. You may do all decorations. After all, whenever you are in the bedroom, you only sleep. You only don't know that you are there in a wonderful mattress, but you will be moving all around. That's what is called swapna. And again, in our Prashnopanishad, the fourth question was, it is asked by that Rishi to Pippalada, when we go to rest, what are the limbs which go to rest? And what are the limbs that go not rest? So the inquiries are there. So our Sanatana Dharma or our Vedic texts or scriptures do not have any final answer. They have only the quest and questioning and trying to derive answers, again putting questions, This kind of jignasa, that is Gnatum Ichcha, is going on and on and on. And one way it is called also as the Mimamsa. So Karma Mimamsa, Yajna Mimamsa, go on. So that's why here it is said that Sahasram Parivatsaran. And next line tells us, Bhutagumha prastota esham asitu bhavishyatu pratijaharatu and prano adhvaryurabhavatu. So we are all telling that yajna is the be all and end all of all people. Yajnena yajnamayajanta devaha tani dharmani prathamanyasan is Rigveda and its sutra. So yajnena yajnamayajanta means yajna was required as a tool to create another yajna. So yajna is a tool, yajna is a goal. And yajna is a dharma, yajna is the goal. Dharma is the goal. So dharma paratvam, Rama said in Ramayana, Naham arthaparo devi kevalam dharmam asritaha. See, I am not fond of increasing all arthas in this world, but I am only devoted or interested to uplift, practice dharma. Dharma paro devaha. That's why Rama is described to be Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmahanta. If at all you want to see in a physical form, flesh and blood and all that, a dharma, then it is only Rama Bhagavan. So that's why Dharma Murti, Dharma Vigraha, Dharma Paraha, Dharmodharaha, ಧರ್ಮಾರ್ಥಂ ತ್ಯಕ್ತ ದೇಹಾಹ. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇರೋದು ಧರ್ಮ ಅಂತ. ಆ ಧರ್ಮ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಯಜ್ಞ. ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಪುರುಷೋತ್ತಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಧರ್ಮ and what is yajna, a true definition, an ideal definition. But even rishis are not bothered about giving a final definition for yajna or dharma. That's why here bhutam prastota esham asit. So hota, prastota, adhvaryu, and udgata and brahma. These are all the officiating priests of the four Vedas. So, and they will have a number of assistants. So, Rigveda people, Rigveda priest will have assistants, Yajurveda. So, all these assistants are because yajna requires a lot of cooperation, support of people. That's why yajna is said to be Sambhuya Samuttanam. That is, it is something that is upheld and continued and organized and conducted only because of the cooperation of many people. Unless all people come and join, you cannot hold a program. Therefore, here also it is said, the prastota, the extended assistant, the chief assistant of the Hotru, the Rigveda priest, is called prastota. And when you turn to the Srauta Kosha, prepared by our Vedic Institute in Pune, and the editors were Dr. C.G. Kashikar and Sontake and band of people. They all prepared 2 volumes of Srauta Kosha, where you get many more details about Srauta or the Sruti or Yajna, and all details about it. So Prastota is a priest belonging to that. But what he did, and he is the Bhutam Prastota. Bhutam is existence, to make things available, to make things be working, and to make ultimately the results being reaped subsequently. So ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ. And bhavishyatu aharatu prati aharatu. And so bhavishyat means the future, the performance, the programming further and further and further that has taken place because of the invitation being extended by the Hotru priest and also the Prastota and all the band of priests. So gods are getting to your workyard, Yajnashala, or that where you Yagashala, only because of the Hotrus. Agna ayahi vitaye grunano havyadataye. So Nishida, so this kind of mantras are there in Rigveda also. Say, O Agni, you please come visit us. Invitation to Agni. Agna ayahi. Where am I to come? Agni will ask the priest, what is the location when you address to come? Vitaye. So Viti is the place where you perform yajna. Vitaye. And why should you come? So the Havyadataye. So the Havyadata, the sacrificer, is ready, holding all dravyas to give it to you. So food to give you. So come Havyadataye. And who is the Havyadata? What is he doing? Simply gods are not cheap fellows. They want proper invitation. So unless proper invitation is there, we are told we are not to go to them. Anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. So I remember my friend, a Cambodian monk, who comes and tells, sir, people invite, so many people are there to invite you, just come to our house. But unless there is a proper invitation, you don't value it. ಸೊ ಆ ತರಹ ನನ್ನ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ದುಂಗ್ಮೀನ್ ಅಂತ ಒಬ್ಬ ಕಂಬೋಡಿಯನ್ ಮಂಕ್, he was telling, he was a very close friend to me. So I remember him. I don't know where he is now. So anyway, he said proper invitation. A proper invitation is to be given by the Hotru priest, Agnaya Hivitaye, and Grunanaha. Grunana means praise ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ನೀನು ಇಂಥವನು, ಬರಲೇಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ಬಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ತರಹ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಮ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ attribution or compliment and importance being parked out by that. That's why all mantras contain praise. Grinanaha, stutya, stuti ide. That's stutya, because that stuti to gods will make them enhance in their power. Our power. So that's why we always say after the completion of the puja, Tanno Vishnu Balam Pravarthatam. నేను చేసినటువంటి ఈ పూజ చేత విష్ణు యొక్క బలము ఇంకొంచెం ఎక్కువ బలం అవ్వాలి. విష్ణో బలం ప్రవర్ధతాం. సో వెన్ హి సేస్ విష్ణో బలం ప్రవర్ధతాం, ఇట్స్ రియల్ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్. దట్స్ వై హియర్ యు సీ that kind of bhavishyat pratyaharatu. And next we have got this, after this is all about information about the Hotru priest, the Rigveda priest, who is really key to invite the gods. Unless the gods are there, audience is there, your program will not be fulfilled. Therefore, first of all, the reception counter. So the people who sit at the reception counter to the gods is the Hota and Prastota. They are there and they invite all gods, and they come because they depend upon the invitations. The gods depend upon invitation, not gods only, people. Supposing why you are not gone there means they say, oh, they did not invite me. We say, because the ahvana, ಆಹ್ವಾನ, ತುಂಬ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಗೌರವದಿಂದ ಆಹ್ವಾನ ಕರೆಯೋದನ್ನು ಆಹ್ವಾನ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ವಾನ ಪತ್ರಿಕಾ, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಹ್ವಾನ ಪತ್ರಿಕಾ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಲೆಟರ್ ಟು ಯು with all devotion, with all sincerity. They are inviting you to the yard, to the worship. That's why bhutam prastota esham asit and praticha aharatu bhavishyat. Idalaadmele next we have got the other priests of the Vedas. You know, this is a very important passage where you should know those people who are responsible to make your arishta, your sins, your doshas, your aparadhas, etc., to be outwitted or removed or reduced, so that you become pure. Putaha emi antare. See, putatvam is what is the target. That's why we say one more mantra is there, and this really recording, charanam pavitram pitatam puranam yena putaha tarati dushkrutani tena putena atipapmanam tarema. Notice the mantra is a Bible, it's a very important one, nucleus. ಸೊ ಚರಣಂ ಪವಿತ್ರಂ, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಪಾದಗಳು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಪವಿತ್ರ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ವಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಡೂ ಪಾದ ಪೂಜಾ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಶರಣಂ ಪ್ರಪದ್ಯೆ, ವಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಶರಣಂ. ತವ ಹಿ ಚರಣಾವೇವ ಶರಣವು. ಇನ್ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯಲಹರಿ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ಎ ಕ್ಲೂ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಡೂ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗೋ ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದಿ ಫೀಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರಿ, and then she will look down, and with lower angle, 45 degrees or 30 degrees, then when one sama drushti falls on you, the drushti, sukha, will make you removed of all your sins. That's why pranamtum stotum va. That's what Shankara told. You have to surrender before the feet of the Parameswari or Parameswara, and then tries to understand how glorious is the deity or the person to whom you are giving the namaskara and whose honor you are able to recognize. That's what we call honoring the Panditas. ಸೊ ಆನರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ಅವರಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಮಹತ್ತನ್ನು, ಸತ್ತನ್ನು ನಾವು ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೌರವ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ He said, next we have got Adhvaryu, then Udgata. And so this is a beautiful passage where you are getting the ideas and knowledge about the creation in a different manner. Because our Vedas do not tell only one creation mode, but it will be telling many, many legends about the creation. I remember one of the great, one of these deep scholars, he worked for the creation legends in the Vedas or Vedic texts or Brahmanas or so. For the PhD degree, working in the Deccan College, Pune, I remember him. And ಏನಪ್ಪ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ ಅಂದರೆ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಲೆಜೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಥೀಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಗಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ PhD. It's a great man. I don't know whether he lives or not. So that way, our Vedas are a veritable field of knowledge and research and answers for all our quest. So I think I should stop here today. And I'm so happy that I was able to, but one comes or not, the knowledge flows. That's what ಅಮ್ಮವಾರಿಗೆ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ದೊಡ್ಡವಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕಾಳಿದಾಸ ಹೇಳ್ಸೆ ಶ್ರುತಿ ಮಹತಾಂ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಶ್ರುತಿ ಮಹತಾಂ ಮಹೀಯತಾಂ ಅಂತ. She is a flow. And those people who attach themselves to the flow of knowledge and improve themselves, to them the flow will be a mark of upliftment and happiness. Shruti Mahatam Mahiyatam. That's the last. And again, Kalidasa will make a prayer. Punarbhavam Kshapayatu Nilalohitaha ಅಂತ. ಯಾರು ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮವನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾರು ಅಂದರೆ ನೀಲಲೋಹಿತಃ. ನೀಲ and loha. These are the two colors combined in Paramatma is Neelagrivaya Namaha. That means Parvati Parameswaras, both, they both together are eligible or granting the moksha. Moksha means Punarbhavam Chapayatu. That is make night for the rebirth. Night for rebirth means nothing will be there during night time. That is a dead time, dead silence. So that's what is expected. So this is a very interesting passage. Even I am learning because I never went through this kind of passages in my study all the time. But this is, I just appreciate this particular passage where you are getting the origin, development, and many more things here in Sutra Prayam, and we are, other knowledge, that background we have got is being utilized. Om Swasti.
Om Sahana Vavato Sahana Bhunakta Sahabhijam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastama Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Satam. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamasta. Shri Vasudevarpanamasta. Shri Veda Purusha Ashirvadostu. Om Shri Matru Charanaravindarpanamastu. Om Tat Sat.
Brahma and these four priests, Othar, Udgata, Brahma, and Adhvaryu. My question is that when they mention Othar and Udgata and Adhvaryu are the actually priest chanting mantras from different Vedas, and the Brahma is the supervising, Maunam. He does not talk. So, and then Veda Trai, they mentioned only Veda Trai without the Atharva Veda. So what is the kind of meaning? I would like to understand what is the purpose of these three priests and Brahma being the supervisor, and ultimately is the one when they are doing the yajna. Agni Devata is the one who is the what do you call, take all the kind of subtle kind of whatever we put in the fire, you'll be taking to the respective devatas. I just would like to hear that, sir.
Yeah, this is, see, Hota, Adhvaryu, and Udgata, they are at work.
Mm.
When yajna is there, are people coming, they're registering them, sending them inside the auditorium and make them witness, give them some food and some attendance to them. All that is the Adhvaryu job.
Mm.
And that is all his assistants. And Udgata entertainment, whenever occasion, something like in a marriage ceremony, there will be the orchestra at one corner.
Mm.
Whenever they ask, so please, మేడం కావాలి, మేడం అనగానే వాళ్ళు ఆయన మాంగళ్యం కట్టేటప్పుడు కానీ ఇంకోటప్పుడు కానీ రెడీగా చేస్తుంటారు. అది ఉద్గాత బిజినెస్.
Sure. Mm.
సో అంటే పెండ్లి వివాహ మంటపం లోపల ఈ ఈ వీళ్ళందరూ ఉంటారు. ఈ వాళ్ళగా ఉంటారు కదా, వాళ్ళు ఏం చేశారు ఊరికి వింటుంటే, వెన్ ఎవర్ దే ఆర్ ఆస్క్డ్ దే విల్ స్టార్ట్ ఎంటర్టైనింగ్ ఆర్ ఎంఫసైజింగ్ ఆర్ ఇన్ఫార్మింగ్, ఆ సౌండ్స్ లోపల అంతా చేస్తుంటారు. అదేదో ఉద్గాత బిజినెస్. సో వీళ్ళు ముగ్గురు అలా ఉంటే దెర్ విల్ బి సమ్ అదర్ పీపుల్ హూ విల్ బి సూపర్వైజింగ్ ఎందుకంటే ఎవరికన్నా తొందర వచ్చినా, ఎవరికన్నా రోగం వచ్చినా, ఏమైనా కష్టం వచ్చినా, బయట లోపల అంతా పారాడుతుంటారు కదా, వాలంటీర్స్ అంటాం కదండి. సూపర్వైజర్స్ ఆర్ సంథింగ్ లైక్ వాలంటీర్స్. They will be attending to the people coming, staying there and who are going out. So this kind of work, that's why అథర్వేదం లోపల మనుషులకి ఎటువంటి విధమైనటువంటి అనుకూలాలు, సపోర్టు, సర్వీస్ కావాలనో అవన్నీ మంత్రాలు ఉన్నాయి. రోగం వస్తుంది, ఎటువంటి రోగాలు వస్తాయి, దగ్గు, ఇంకోటి ఉన్నప్పుడు వాటికన్నిటికీ పరిహారంగా భైషజ్యాని అని సపరేట్ సెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ మంత్రాస్ ఆర్ దేర్. ఎటువంటి రోగం వస్తుంది, వాత పిత్తానికి సంబంధించినటువంటి అవన్నీ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, అంటే వెనెవర్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ అట్ వర్క్, అట్ సాక్రిఫైస్, అట్ ఆల్ దాట్, వాళ్ళకి ఏమైనా తొందరలు వస్తే, ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ మేము మన బెంగళూరులో కాన్ఫరెన్స్ చేసినప్పుడు ఓల్డ్ పీపుల్ విల్ అటెండ్ ది కాన్ఫరెన్స్ కదండి, ఎక్కడికి నుంచో వస్తారు, వాళ్ళకి ఏమేమో ప్రాబ్లమ్, డయాబెటిక్స్, హార్ట్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, ఇంకోటి ఉంటుంది కదా. సో వాట్ వీ డిడ్ వాజ్ we arranged 2 ambulances outside the gate of the Agriculture University, and also cautioned the doctors to be available then, and also we have made some police people also patrolling. ఇవన్నీ అరేంజ్ చేసుకొని కాన్ఫరెన్స్ చేసాం అగ్రికల్చర్ యూనివర్సిటీ లోపల. I have in fact signed a paper, those request letters to police, to hospital, to ambulance people and other such people to be just ready during the conference time. Or ఆ రోజుల్లో అంత ఫోన్ లేదు, 2002-3 ఇంత అడ్వాన్స్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ టెక్నాలజీ లేదు కదండి. సో అప్పుడు ఏంటంటే వాళ్ళందరినీ అంబులెన్స్ నించోబెట్టి, కొంత డాక్టర్స్ కూడా ఇన్వైట్ చేసి వాళ్ళని కూర్చోబెట్టి, ఇలాంటివన్నీ పనులు అథర్వేదం వాళ్ళు చేస్తారు. ఎందుకు అంటారా, తర్వ అంటే పెయిన్, బాధ, రోగం, కష్టం, ఇవన్నీ థర్వలు. నా థర్వ ఈజ్ అథర్వ. అంటే ట్రీట్మెంట్, డయాగ్నోసిస్, మేకింగ్ దెమ్ హ్యాపీయర్ ఈజ్ అథర్వ. కాబట్టి అథర్వ వేదము అంటే జ్ఞానం, నాలెడ్జ్. సో ఈ డయాగ్నోస్టిక్ కి, ట్రీట్మెంట్ కి కావాల్సినటువంటి నాలెడ్జ్ అంతా అథర్వేదంలో నిండిపోయింది.
Oh, very nice. First time I hearing. That's very nice.
So Ayurveda is Upaveda for Atharveda కదండి. సో గాంధర్వ వేద is Upaveda for the Samaveda. సో ఇలాగా అంటే అధ్వర్యు ఈజ్ ఆల్సో ఉపవేద ఫర్ ది ఆయుర్వేద, బికాస్ ది సర్జికల్ ఎక్స్పర్టైజ్ ఇస్ ది అధ్వర్యు. అధ్వర్యు అంటే సింప్లీ మంత్రాలు చెప్పడానికి కాదు, సింప్లీ మంత్రాలు చెప్పడానికి, స్వరబద్ధంగా చెప్పడానికి ఋగ్వేదం వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు. వాళ్ళు మంత్రాలు చెప్పేంత వరకే వాళ్ళ బాధ్యత, కానీ ఎక్కువ బాధ్యత ఎవరు అంటే అధ్వర్యు. ఇంకొంచెం ఎక్కువ బాధ్యత సామాన్యంగా పడ్డా మేనేజ్ చేయడానికి అథర్వవేదం వాళ్ళు. బ్రహ్మ అంటారు వాటిని. బ్రహ్మ అంటే సూపర్వైజరు, బెస్ట్ గవర్నర్ కదండి. ది గవర్నర్ ఆఫ్ ఎ స్టేట్, ది మేయర్ ఆఫ్ ఎ కార్పొరేషన్, ది ప్రెసిడెంట్ ఆఫ్ ది కంట్రీ, వీళ్ళందరూ కూడా గవర్నర్స్ కదండి. గవర్నర్కి ఎక్కువ పని లేదు వాడు. వాడు తిరుగుతుండడం పని కదండి. వాలంటీర్స్ ఏం చేస్తారు, అక్కడ ఇక్కడ అక్కడ అని చోట తిరుగుతుంటారు, డాగ్ బెల్ట్ వేసుకొని వాలంటీర్ అని కదండి. సో ఐ థింక్ దిస్ ఇస్ హౌ.
ఏమండి, if it is, I think I truly understood and I learned one thing from the meaning of the Atharva Veda. Now these are all bahiranga, outer service thing that's happening. But is there any inner antargata meaning for these three priests and Brahma?
Yeah, there is Antargata meaning. And when they're all assistants for the Paramatma, gods, come and then grant the desires of the people. Different people come there with different purposes. ఇప్పుడు నేర్చు ఆ బ్రహ్మన్ బ్రాహ్మణో బ్రహ్మవర్చసి జాయతాం అని బ్రాహ్మణుడు బ్రహ్మవర్చస్సు అవ్వాలి, క్షత్రియుడు మహారాజు అయిపోయాలి, ఆయనకు మంచి కొడుకు పుట్టాలి, ఆయనతో ఎండవకూడదు రామరాజ్యాలు. సో అది మంచి మహారథుడిగా ఉండాలి, ఇట్లా పంటలు చక్కగా వస్తూ ఉండాలి, యోగక్షేమం ఉండాలి, స్వానులు వస్తూ ఉండాలి. ఇవంతా దిస్ ఇస్ ఆల్ వాట్ వీ కాల్ వేదిక్ రాష్ట్రగీత. ఇప్పుడు రాష్ట్రం ఎటువంటి మంచి కలగాలో ఆ మంచి అన్ని యజ్ఞం నుంచే జరుగుతుంది. పూజలు లేకపోతే లైఫ్ అంతా డ్రైయే కదండి. పొద్దున్న లేయడము, కాఫీ తాగడము, తిండి తినడము, కారు వెళ్ళడం, మళ్ళీ సాయంత్రం రావడం, పండుగ తిండి. Is there any spark in that kind of life?
Routine, yeah.
కాకుండా మీకు కొంచెం వీకెండ్స్ అండి, అమెరికాలో ఉన్న వీకెండ్స్ అంటే పీపుల్ విత్ ఫ్యామిలీ గో టు టెంపుల్, చిన్న పాపలు కూడా పోతారు. బట్ ఇండియాలో స్మాల్ అప్పుడే పుట్టిన బేబీస్ తీసుకురారు కదండి, వాళ్ళు చిన్న వాళ్ళు మాత్రమే ఉంటారు టెంపుల్స్ లోపల. ఈవెన్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ చేస్తే కూడా నేను ఇన్విటేషన్ ఇస్తే సార్ మా తాతకి ఇస్తాను సార్, మీ ఇన్విటేషన్ రమ్మంటారు అంటారు. తాతకి ఎవరు ఊచ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ అటెండ్ ఎవరు వాంట్ యువర్ గ్రాండ్ ఫాదర్ టు కమ్ ఓన్లీ. వాళ్ళు అనుకుంటారు ఈ వేదాలు, ఈ ఉపనిషత్తులు, ఇవన్నీ ఓల్డ్ పీపుల్ కావాలండి. ఓల్డ్ అవుతావో లేదు ఎవరు తెలుసు అండి. ఐ నో వన్ బ్యాంక్ అఫీషియల్, ఆయన సార్ ఐఎమ్ టేకింగ్ వాలంటీర్ రిటైర్మెంట్, తర్వాత మీ దగ్గరే వచ్చి కూర్చొని వేదం నేర్చుకుంటాను సార్, రుద్రం నేర్చుకుంటాను చెప్పేవాడు. వాలంటీర్ రిటైర్మెంట్ తీసుకున్నా కూడా ఒకడు రాలేదు. ఒకసారి ఎక్కడో దారిలో తిరిగితే ఏమన్నాడు, సార్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టేకెన్ ఏజెన్సీ, పోస్టల్ ఏజెన్సీ, ఎల్ఐసి, అది ఇది, మై వైఫ్ వర్క్ ఆల్సో ఐఎమ్ డూయింగ్, సో ఐఎమ్ నాట్ ఫైండింగ్ టైమ్స్ అన్నాడు. I told him, at least when you are working, you are found in the bank from 10 to 5. Now you are not working, therefore you are in the street market. కానీ రిటైర్మెంట్ అయిన తర్వాత అట్లీస్ట్ సమ్ టైం మనం డైవర్ట్ చేసుకుంటే అది ఎంత హాయిగా ఉంటుందండి. దట్స్ వాట్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ బ్రహ్మానందం. బ్రహ్మ అంటే ఏదో బ్రహ్మకుందని కాదు, మనకు కూడా మనంతా బ్రహ్మలే కదండి.
కరెక్ట్.
సో ఎప్పుడు ఆనందం ఎప్పుడు వస్తుంది? నాట్ బై జస్ట్ డ్రింకింగ్ కప్ ఆఫ్ కాఫీ, టెంపరరీ ఆనందాలు కాకుండా కొంచెం నిదానంగా లాంగ్ డ్రాన్ ఆనందం అనేది పర్సనల్ కదండి. యూ హ్యావ్ టు సృక్, దట్స్ వై విశ్వ సృక్ అంటారు. విశ్వం విష్ణు అషట్కార అన్నప్పుడు విష్ణు శాస్త్ర నన్ను మొన్న వెళ్ళామండి, కార్తీక సోమవారం నాడు మా వాళ్ళు తీసుకెళ్లారు. ఐ వాజ్ సో హ్యాపీ. మీ విష్ణు సహస్రనామ స్క్రీను కొంచెం ఎవరో స్విచ్ ఆన్ చేశాడు, కొంచెం లైట్ వస్తుంది, మంత్రం చెప్తున్నా, అట్ ది ఎండ్ ఆఫ్టర్ ది అభిషేకం అండ్ ప్రసాద్ వినియోగం అండ్ ఆల్ దట్ దగ్గర వెలుగుతుంది. After long years, I have seen that glowing. I don't switch or something like that. నేను అక్కడ ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి చెప్పాను, వాళ్ళు తిండి వాళ్ళు తెచ్చుకున్నారు, దోశ మంచిగా ఏదో దోశ చేశాడు తెచ్చుకున్నారు వాళ్ళు, సెట్ దోశ. అక్కడ వాళ్ళు దీని గురించి పెద్ద చరిత్ర ఉంది అని చెప్పి కొంచెం అందరూ ఇన్ఫార్మ్ చేశాను. ఆ చంద్రారెడ్డి గారు పట్టుకుంటే ఇప్పుడు నెక్స్ట్ ఇయర్ ఏదో చేస్తారు ఆయన. So there should be accessibility, enjoyability, and spiritual derivations because of that kind of wonderful screen you have prepared there.
తప్పకుండా అండి. నెక్స్ట్ ఇయర్ ఐ థింక్ విల్ మేక్ ఇట్ as an
అది అలా డల్గా తప్పకుండా చేయాలి. You should make it live and people get inspiration. They should prepare for Shiva Sahasranamam also, the similar one.
Sure అండి.
సూర్యుడు ఏడుస్తాడు కదండి, నా గురించి ఎవరు చేయలేదని.
థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ కాలింగ్. ఐ థింక్ ఐ వాజ్ అవుట్డోర్ అండ్ సో I could not take it, but now I enjoyed it. After joining, I enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Namaste.
మళ్ళీ నిదానంగా మాట్లాడతాము, చూసుకోండి.
Okay.
శ్రీరామ్.